Hi everyone! Welcome to Catholic Online Sunday School. In this video, we are going to learn about protecting the environment. The Church has endeavored to take care of God's creation and live together harmoniously for a long time. Saint Francis is a good example of taking care of God's creation. Pope Francis marked church history by his encyclical Laudato Si in 2015 and made environmental protection as one of the social teachings of Catholic Church. As we see more and more evidence of climate change and consequent disasters, it is important to join Pope Francis' endeavor to take good care of God's creation. Efforts to protect the environment have been made outside the Church, such as government agencies, UN Climate Convention Conference, numerous environmental organizations, and schools that teach environmental subjects, etc. But the Catholic Encyclical Laudato Si is more than these. The encyclical not only tells about the importance of the environmental protection and actions to take, but also discerns the fundamental reasons of the destruction and reveals it at the spiritual level. It also approaches environmental issues from political and economic perspectives. So today, we are going to learn about three major things based on Laudato Si. The first one is why it is important to take care of creation. The second one is the roots of the ecological crisis. And the third one is our responses. First, why is it important to care for creation? We all know it. It is because the earth is our common home, including our future generation. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 15, it says, "The Lord God then took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and care for it." So humans are commanded to care for God's creation. Pope Francis put this in a beautiful way. Let's read it together. Our bodies are made up of her elements. We breathe her air, and we receive life and refreshment from her waters. So Pope Francis wants to tell us that the environment and people are closely connected, right? If the environment is destroyed, so are we humans. And environmental protection is very important in terms of social justice. Many unprivileged people live in regions where global warming is more apparent, and they have a very few resources to cope with natural disasters and climate change. So they are more vulnerable to environmental issues. Therefore, protecting the global environment and protecting the poor are closely related. Second, the roots of the ecological crisis. Pope Francis mentioned about the deep root of this crisis in Laudato Si many times. It's the ethical corruption of man. Let's read what Pope Francis wrote. Whatever is fragile, like the environment, is defenseless before the interests of a deified market, which become the only rule. In other words, the suppliers maximize their revenue by exploiting nature and the poor, and the consumers continue their habit of spending and wasting to make our environment come this far. So the economic powers opposed the environmental protection policy, and indifference to the environment of many prevailed more than those efforts to protect the environment. Also, some people blindly believe that science and technology will solve all the problems. Can you see the massive land that many wind turbines and solar panels occupy? In 2 or 3 decades, we will see a huge amount of waste of those turbines and panels. It also reported that countless birds are dying from being hit by the wings of a wind turbine every year. And it generates noise pollution that disturbs the ecosystem around the area. Moreover, the efficiency of electricity production from renewable energy is very low. So renewable energy can never be a hope for human energy security. Then the third, our responses. Pope Francis said 2 things. First, ecological conversion, and second, compassionate care for creation. To do ecological conversion, we have to do 3 things. First, we should realize our call as a protector of creation. Second, ask for the help of God to protect the creature. And third, ask forgiveness to God of our faults committed to nature. In order to do this ecological conversion well, we have to make up our mind that we treat the poor neighbors and creatures with love and respect, and live humbly and frugally because humans and nature are all connected. For compassionate care, Pope Francis wrote about our caring actions in detail. These action guidelines are what we have heard from environmental organizations or at school. Let's talk about these actions later in this video. Also, Pope Francis emphasized that our actions to protect the environment should be communal. That means everyone, not only in our church, but also with all goodwill people outside the church, need to cooperate. Many environment organizations have committed to raise awareness on environmental protection. For example, every year around the globe, on the last Saturday of March, people turn off the light for an hour. On Earth Day on April 22nd, we celebrate clean air, water, and land. Also, many environmental organizations clean up oceans, beaches, and land, and protest for animal conservation. We, Catholic Church, in celebration of the 6th anniversary of the publication of the Encyclical Laudato Si, had Laudato Si Week from May 16th to 25th in 2021. During the week, churches around the world united and prayed for creation. All these activities and days always emphasize that every day is Earth Day, and we should take care of the environment every day. Before we go, Let's learn about the actions that we can practice every day. I summarized it into 5 things. First, we should reduce plastic. Because plastic is light, sturdy, and convenient, it has come deep into our lives. But the plastic, even if we dispose of them separately, cannot be recycled in most cases and wander around the earth without degradation for a long time and threaten the life of the earth. So if possible, we should use our own cup or bottle rather than using a plastic bottle. Rather than buying small packaged drinks or snacks, we should buy bulky products. And we should try to avoid over-packaged products. Second, we should reduce paper use. Because it's not much on a sheet of paper, we may throw it away even though we didn't use it, or we may print out without looking at it closely. And we may use tissue papers and wipes without a second thought. But as you all know, papers are made of wood. Whenever we waste papers or tissues, more trees have to be cut. Trees provide us with oxygen and many creatures shelter. We should be more considerate in using papers and towels. In the paper plant, a huge amount of chemicals and water are used for producing the paper product. So water pollution is another problem. We should be mindful in using papers, paper towels, or wipes as much as necessary. Third, we should save energy. The heart of civilization that has already entered deep into our daily life is electricity. We need power plants to generate electricity. So far, fossil fuel-based thermal plants have been the main source of electricity production. But it resulted in so many problems such as fossil fuel depletion, air pollution from burning fossil fuels, noise, disturbed sea ecosystems due to the hot water that cooled down the hot generator and ran into the sea. Alternative power sources that have been introduced are nuclear power plants and renewable energy. But these also have pollution and efficiency problems. They are not answers. So we have to turn from the idea that science and technology can solve all the problems. Rather, we have to save energy in our daily lives. In fact, if we are mindful, we can save huge amounts of energy with simple care. Turn off the lights that are not in use. Reduce the use of electric devices. Write down a refrigerator map and put the food that you eat often close to the door. And open the refrigerator door only when necessary. Set the heating and cooling temperature to above 78 Fahrenheit in summer and below 68 Fahrenheit in winter. In winter, put on warm clothes and multi-layer clothes. These are small inconveniences, but they are a great help to our planet. We can make a little more effort to save electricity. Fourth, we should eat healthy. When we go to grocery stores, we can easily find many convenience foods. Convenience foods contain many food additives that are unhealthy and cause skin or emotional problems. In addition, in many cases, excessive packaging materials are used for convenience food, and we use disposable utensils, and we generate large volumes of garbage. So if possible, try to eat homemade food. Rather than a strong tasty flavor, try to enjoy the taste of the natural ingredients. In our tradition, Catholics abstain from meat on Fridays during Lent and remember the Passion of Christ. But it is good to be vegetarian at least once a week, even when we are not in Lent. Because of the large consumption of meat, the livestock farmers feed the animals with growth hormones and GMO feeds. And oftentimes, antibiotics are given to animals because they are raised in cramped farms and get diseases easily. You don't want to eat this kind of meat every day. Also, the methane gas emitted by livestock causes a more severe greenhouse effect than car fumes. The soil and water pollution from livestock manure are also serious. If we reduce meat consumption, the well-being of animals improves, environmental pollution is reduced, and our body becomes healthier. At least once a week, we can eat fish or bean-based food such as tofu. The last but not least is to reduce waste and recycle. To reduce waste, we have to get into the habit of buying only what we need. If we impulsively consume because it is on sale or for a fashion trend, our house will be hoarded with trash. Especially clothes, like papers, use a huge volume of chemicals and water during production. And recycling clothes is difficult. We should try to wear timeless clothes. In order to increase the rate of recycling, we should empty the contents and rinse them well with water before disposing them. That's it for today. I hope you all appreciate our brother and sister living creatures with love and respect them because we were made for love. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.